Yo, what is going on, guys? Today is a historic day. Finally, I have updated and made a tier list. You guys, this has been the most requested video and thing for me to do on the channel for like the last couple months, and I've been saying I'm going to do it, but I keep just like thinking about, oh, it's going to be so much work to do, and I keep like procrastinating it, and then one day, like the last week, I decided to sit down. I'm like, all right, let's just do it. And I didn't even take that long. It wasn't even that, and I actually had a lot of fun doing it, so finally got it done, and I'm going to be updating it every single month. I want you guys to hold me to that as well. If I start slacking again, just Legacy, where's that tier list, man? You guys got to hit me with those comments sometimes. Sometimes I need a bit of a push. But yeah, so here's the tier list. Before we get into it, disclaimer, don't take this as the Bible of MCOC. Not that I would think that you would, but this is just this game is very matchup dependent. Now, a champion that is in the worst possible tier could be better than a champion in a way higher tier in a certain matchup, because this game is all about matchups. Take this as a rough baseline of, what champions are good from someone who has a lot of experience playing the game for 5 years, playing the game at the most competitive points pretty much possible. So this is just my perspective on a lot of these champions. And a lot of these champions I don't have enough practice with, so that's why I want you guys give me your feedback in the comments so we can make changes. I'm thinking also in the future, maybe I'll live stream some tier list stuff, and like I'll be live and we can discuss and make changes live. Let me know what you guys think about that. Just some ideas. I got lots of ideas. There's also just a rough draft of my brand new tier list, so there's not a ton of extra stuff. For example, if you see under the mutant class, there's a little horse icon that means for horsemen, and I want to do some more stuff like that. But again, I just wanted to get a tier list out, and then I can start updating it more and more and be on the ball each month. So yeah, and just before we get into it, one final thing, I just wanted to say thank you and a shout out to Vega for letting me copy his format of tier list. He makes his own tier list. They're really good video series. And I just really liked the format that he had for it, and it looked beautiful. So I asked him if I could use it. He said, for sure. So yeah, guys, all right, let's get into it. So now the tier list itself. There are 5 tiers, so it's one above all tier, Beyonder tier, God tier, Demigod tier, and Buffable tier. So Buffable tier is obviously the worst tier. These champs need an offensive buff. Some of them are really good on defense, but this is an offensive tier list, so that's why. And then we have the Demigod tier. You guys know this one. This is good champions, but they don't quite make the God tier cut. Then we have God tier champions. Then we have the Beyond God tier champions, and here that's where I just call it Beyonder tier, because I was trying to think of some good names for my tier list, and I just started looking into Marvel lore to really find it. The Beyonder is a very powerful being in the Marvel universe, so this tier is his Beyonder tier for extremely powerful champions in the game. And then the one above all tier, which is the most powerful character in Marvel, the one above all. So this is the one above all tier, which is basically there's only one champion allowed in this per class, and it's the champion that is above all the rest in the class. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but I really like it because it's got the Marvel comic tie-in aspect, and I think it just works perfectly for the kind of tier list I want to have. And so Beyonder tier is like a champion that's definitely worth rank 3 and maybe higher, and then the one above all tier is worth 6-star rank 4 and maybe even higher. But like these are the champions that like you don't even really have to think about it. Like if you have these champions, they are a candidate for rank 4, again in my own personal opinion. So let's jump into it. So with the Mystic class here, we have Dr. Doom in the one above all tier. He is just a step above the entire Mystic class in my opinion. Just such a good champion. I feel like a lot of people agree with that, but there's going to be some stuff that I'm sure not everyone agrees with. Let's move on to the Mutant class. I just want to show you guys the entire tier list. So Mutant class, we've got Kitty Pryde up there. I think Kitty Pryde is just ridiculous. I think a lot of people don't understand how truly insane she is. I think she's actually just busted, especially with the Tiger synergy. Maybe I should put a little asterisk or something about, because I only think she is one above all. I think she's one above all without the Tiger synergy, but with the Tiger synergy, honestly, I think she's maybe even one above all the entire game. I literally think she's that good. She's having used her at rank 4 with Tiger synergy. I have so much personal experience. It still blows my mind that she even exists in the game. She is so bustedly broken and overpowered, man. It boggles my mind that Kabam has allowed her to exist the way she does, and it also boggles my mind that more people don't see how broken she is, man. I've tried to show it in videos. I feel like now that more people have pulled her, they're gonna see for themselves, hands-on, using her. So maybe this will age a little bit better, but right now I can definitely see it as controversial. But again, my opinion. Now, speaking of controversial, hold on. Actually, one thing I want to touch upon, the Horseman icon. So in the mutant class, how I'm just going to do it is, if the Horseman icon, if you see the Horseman icon, that means that they're only in that class or that tier because of the icon. So for example, Wolverine as a Horseman, I don't think he's Beyonder tier on his own, but with the Horseman as a Horseman, definitely. Same thing with Gambit. Gambit is ridiculous as a Horseman. On his own, he's God tier for sure, but as a Horseman, easily Beyonder tier. Easily. Not even like, yeah. And Cable, you see he has the Horseman, and then just a little star sign just because he doesn't need to be a Horseman, but he does need the APOC synergy. He's not technically Horseman, but you get it. So yeah, that explains that. And now we move on to the science class. So this is again where this is probably going to be the most controversial thing I say in this tier list, and that's going to be very disagreed upon. So I have Human Torch as the one above all in the science class. Again, this is my personal opinion. I think Human Torch, I'm not saying Human Torch is better than Quake as an overall champion. I think Quake is a lot more broken in the right hands and can counter a lot more things than Human Torch can. But there are two major factors why I put Human Torch above Quake in the current state of the game. Actually, three. Number one, this is totally biased. I don't like Quake and I love Torch, and I personally just think he's better and I use him way more. That is totally biased though. That's my own personal reason. The next two are actual, more factual based reasons. The next reason, which is just a fact, you can't argue with this. Quake is the most powerful version of Quake available is at a 5-star level. That holds her back right there. Human Torch is available as a 6-star. He's able to get to a 6-star rank 4 level. So Human Torch's threshold for power is just higher. Just because he's available as a 6-star and Quake is not. Originally, I was thinking about doing a tier list and just having it only as 6-star champions, actually. But that wouldn't be as useful to a lot more lower tier and mid tier players. So I decided not to do that. But Quake's only available as a 5-star, and I think that's really holding her back. And I don't see her being released as a 6-star anytime soon. So that, I think, is a fair reason to put Human Torch above Quake, just because his level of power is higher, just because of the game. And now my third and final reason, again, this is factual. During the last season of Alliance War, Human Torch was banned at least 10 out of the 12 wars I participated in. Now that tells me, and you know who he was banned with? Ghost and Hercules. So there's two conclusions we can draw from here. One is that Torch is on the same level as Ghost and Hercules. That's one conclusion you can draw, and that's not exactly the conclusion I'm drawing, but that's one way to look at it. The second way to look at it is that the global benefited Torch, the global kind of hindered Quake a bit, and so it didn't make as much sense to ban her as it did. It made a lot more sense to ban Torch. That's another way you can look at it. I don't think you should just look at it one way or the other. I think you should look at it with both perspectives in mind. Still, the fact is, nonetheless, that Human Torch was banned predominantly in the first season of bans. Human Torch was banned so much, and with the likes of Ghost and Hercules, which are also in that tier of one above all, and I don't think that's really as arguable as the Human Torch is. So that's my three reasons for putting Torch there. And if you guys disagree, I understand. I expect to see a lot of pushback on this, but that's my reasoning for it. And again, my tier list is my own personal opinion. So yeah, that's why Human Torch is there. Sorry about that, guys. Ace was barking at the mailman. But now we move on to the tech class, and as you can see here, there is some things. Tech and skill, there's some differences in the tier list from the other classes. And you'll see some pink text. What this means essentially is that it was tough because some champions, for example, Stark, Spidey, Vision, Nimrod, Ultron, the new Sam Wilson, Guardian. I think all of these characters are above God tier. I think they're above God tier. I think they're better than the champions I have listed in God tier, and I think those champions listed in God tier are God tier. So like, what do I could do? Because I also feel like Ghost is definitely the best champ in the tech class. It's not even close. It's not even an argument in my mind. She's there, but Warlock and Guillotine I think are a step above the characters below them. So I was like what do I do here? You know, like, so I needed a way to illustrate that I think these champions are different from the rest that I have listed. So that's basically what the pink text means, is that they are the best in that tier and above all the other champions in that tier, but those other champions still deserve to be in that tier, if that makes any sort of sense. So in the tech class, Warlock and Guillotine and Ghost I think are the top 3 champions, but Ghost edges them out pretty easily, but they're still above the rest of the tech class. So yeah, that's what the pink text essentially means. So yeah, and I do think that the new Captain America Sam Wilson is a Beyonder tier champion. I think he's that good. I originally had him the God tier, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is my tier list. I think he's good enough to be in the Beyonder tier, so I'm going to put him there. And so there he is. I think he's going to be such a good Alliance War champion. Just because a champion doesn't have big yellow numbers doesn't mean they're not a monster. That dude has good damage in medium to short fights, and his utility is just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I also have both of the Visions in the Beyonder tier class, because Vision, I'd say, is a super underrated character, but at the same time, he's in the same league as like Quake, Tigra, the other champions, where you need skill to play him. If you have a complete mastery of intercepting, and you play Vision, like, you can just go watch Swadia L's channel. You can see what he does with Vision. It is insane. You can just lock fights down, and it's so powerful. Vision's he's so powerful, man. Especially in the right hands, but even in the wrong hands, he still is so good for controlling power. So I believe in the right hands definitely makes him the Beyonder tier class. And now we move on to the skill class. So here we have another interesting scenario where you can see there's no champion listed here in the one above all tier for the skill class. Now, the thing is, I don't think there's really one champion that stands above the rest in the skill class. I think the 3 best skill champions in the game are, well, I think the 2 best are Nick Fury and Shang-Chi. I think these 2 are a step above everyone else. However, Aegon, max combo I think is one of the best champs in the entire game, if not the best, and he would definitely be the one above all tier at max combo. But of course, max combo is ridiculous to get in anywhere outside of Labyrinth or Abyss. So yeah, in Labyrinth and Abyss, Aegon definitely a step above everyone else, and one above all tier. But you know, that's not realistic. And Nick Fury and Shang-Chi, I don't really know which one I think is even better. I think it's debatable either way. But I think it's so close that, like, I just couldn't justify putting anyone in the one above all tier for the skill class. One day I hope we get one skill champion that just really is. I'm still waiting for that one skill champion to just like be so ridiculous. And I hope Black Cat. I hope it's Black Cat, man. I hope she lands in that spot on one of my next tier lists. That would make me so happy, be so thrilled. But yeah, skill class, Misty Knight ended up landing in the God tier. Honestly, I don't know enough about Misty Knight to put her any higher or any lower. I've heard good things. Maybe you guys can let me know. What do you guys think of her being in the God tier? Do you agree? Do you disagree? This is definitely one that I could use some feedback on. And going forward, I'm not going to be afraid to ask you guys for feedback on certain rankings, because I don't know everything. And sometimes you need help. And so yeah, Misty Knight is definitely one that can be moved. So just let me know in the comment section down below. And then the final class that we haven't looked at yet is the Cosmic class. And we have Hercules here at the top. I think of Hercules as, some people think Corvus is still the best Cosmic champion. I literally look at Hercules as like a much better Corvus. You know, like I think Hercules' cheat death is even better than Corvus's. You know, Hercules doesn't run out of charges. He can build up, but he doesn't like need the build up like Corvus needs with charges. You know, Hercules can build up 3 charges on any fight. He doesn't need to target Avengers or Tech Champs or anything silly like that. Like, I think Corvus is just so held back by his charge limit, his parameters to build him up, and even once he's built up, I still think I'd still rather have Hercules. So Hercules for me easily the best Cosmic Champion in the game. Yeah, it's really easy for me to say that. And I think Corvus, Null, Cat Marvel Movie, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Hyperion are all on a similar level. I think Cosmic Ghost Rider and Corvus are a little bit above the rest, in my personal opinion. Some people ask, like, is Cosmic Ghost Rider as good as Hercules? Or, like, who's better there? Hercules is overall just better than Cosmic Ghost Rider, in my opinion, just because he just has access to more and can just do more in general. But if we're talking damage, like, no one touches Cosmic Ghost Rider. He's the king of damage. If this tier list was just like damage output, like, he would be in that top spot. And Cosmic Ghost Rider, definitely one of my favorite Cosmic Champions. Like, I like Cosmic Ghost Rider a bit more than Hercules because he just looks so cool. But I do think Hercules is the best Cosmic Champion. And I'm pretty confident in that opinion. Yeah, so yeah, guys, that is the first ever tier list of 2022. I am going to be updating it every month. Again, if I'm slacking, I just might need a little push. Just leave me a comment. I'm very looking forward to your guys' feedback. I read all the comments on these tier list videos. Try not to be too mean though. Again, this is all my opinions. I do appreciate all feedback though, good and bad, but let's try to keep it civil. You don't need to be a bully to get your point across. And yeah, let's have a discussion in the comment section down below, and let me know what you guys think. Any feedback on the tier list, on anything, not just the ranking specifically. And if you would like to see maybe a live stream version of this in the future, where we can talk and discuss new rankings together, let me know what you guys think about that and the format. And yeah, that's gonna do it. Enough rambling. I hope you guys have a good day. Drop a like if you enjoyed the tier list and you guys want to see me continue doing it. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.